This one though, 250 horsepower.
Oh, that noise though! Come on! But it's so nice to be back out on track after all this stuff going on in the world. Oh, I'm bouncing everywhere. That is planted, 110. Because I've been shouting, I've lost my voice a bit.
Welcome back to another episode of Geared, and yes, we are back at a track day. Finally, they are back open and we are at Donington Park, where we'll be going out and driving Georgi's Clio Mk3. So it's been about a year since I last drove a Clio Mk3 at Donington Park, and that was running just over 200 horsepower. This one though, 250 horsepower, and I know a lot of people will be thinking that is absolutely mad power for a Mark III Clio, and this is naturally aspirated. It is still running the F4R engine. Now, as you probably know, these F4R engines are really difficult to get power out of, especially naturally aspirated. So looks wise, it looks pretty similar to a normal OEM Clio Mark III, but underneath the bonnet and the chassis is where it all is with this one. Now, Georgi unfortunately doesn't want to get on camera. I tried to force him, but he didn't want to. So if you are interested in the full description, make sure you check it out below, but I'll try and go through some bits with you and hopefully explain it, and then we're going to go out and take it round. It looks fairly standard from the outside. It has got some OZ Ultra Leggero, hopefully I've said that right, alloy wheels. It's got the cup spoiler, and it's got the standard Brembos. Now, brakes wise, it's got DS 111 pads on the front, DS 2500 on the rear. Exhaust has been changed to a single conversion, so it has gone, it's got a really big manifold with loads of silencers in, and it's just been converted to a single exit there. So normally there's one either side, but it looks good, looks good. Now, the bit that you're probably wanting to know most about is the engine itself. So this is running ITB'd, which stands for individual throttle bodies, if you didn't know. These are from Pure Motorsport, and the engine has had a lot of money spent on it. I just popped the bonnet, and as you can see, we've got some nice ITB'd there. They are quite hidden, but I'll put a picture up of what it looks like with the bumper off, and it's got the filter at the end. Now, this is running fly-by-wire and is one of the only ones in the country to be running this. It's also got some cat cams, 405 cat cams. Yeah, it's 405 cat cams. It's got different injectors, and we've got a gripper limited slip differential. This has been forged. It is very high compression. I think it's running 13:1 compression, so it is very high. Now, they are quite high anyway, but that's just been taken to another level. It's also running a Delta 800S standalone ECU, and it's also got a longer final drive. So Georgi was telling me a lot of areas where you'd go into third, you can actually keep it in second, so it does help having that longer final drive. Chassis wise, we have got full cup shocks and springs, and also there is no bushing on it at all. It is literally metal to metal, solid, so it is going to be really stiff, and I'm hoping it's going to corner nice and well. On that with cornering, we've got some R28Rs which I missed out, nice and grippy, and we should be stopping quite well. So when you look inside, this is where it all changes a little bit. Doesn't look quite standard anymore. We got two full wrap rounds. We got a GT3 Sebelt or Sebelt seat, and then we got a cut racer Sebelt seat too, and we got a CAE shifter. Now these CAE shifters are absolutely mega. OMP Targa wheel, and you got a bit of a different pedal box from what he said as well. So one of the things this doesn't have is a rear cage. It doesn't have a full cage. I think that might be on the cards in the future. Now one of the things that I thought lacked a little bit on the Mark III that I drove last year was the punch of the engine. It didn't have that top end like a K20 does have, for example. So this one is going to be interesting to see the difference of having a 250 horsepower one against about 200 horsepower. That 50 horsepower difference is going to be massive, I think. So let's get to it and let's take it out.
So Georgie told me just that it doesn't have ABS either. So I get warming up, but this is loud. So yeah, he wasn't lying. He said about the brakes, you gotta really press them hard. Right now, let's get going. Foot flat now. Come on, we're moving. Feel like 250 brake. He's got a lot more go at the top. Not quite, he hasn't got that pull like a K20. We're at nearly 120 mile an hour. Things are warming up now. Yeah, that handle's lovely. I mean, even out the box, these handle superb, but this one, it's not stepping out at all. It's just so addictive. Yeah, you've really got to press hard on them brakes. See if we can go flat down here. ITB'd just made you smile. Oh, a little bit too deep there. bouncing everywhere. Right, it just feels like it needs a little bit more at the top, which is where K20's just come into a world of their own, because they just keep pulling and pulling. The second gear is about 75 miles an hour. It hasn't got like a hard limiter, it's got like a soft limiter, just under 8,000 revs, just over 110, into third, on the brakes hard, come on. Would I change anything? I'd say the back end is probably a little bit too soft. I am bouncing about a lot, but I think a cage would really like stiffen it up and make it feel a little bit better on the back. Yeah, the brakes definitely need looking at, because I haven't got much confidence in the brakes. DS 111 pads on the front and DS 2500s on the rear. Little dab on the brakes, gets that white over into third. Little dab on the brakes again, back on the throttle, and we're going a little bit wide. But it's so nice to be back out on track after all this stuff going on in the world. This gives you a nice sense to forget about everything. That's close. And that's where RenaultSport's really come into a world of their own, because they just give you so much confidence. We go flat round here if we can, just need to make sure we get the right line. That is planted, 110, into third. Oh yeah, we made it just. This is why having a car that doesn't have as much power is a lot better for track that don't need too much. Is my whoa, because I've been shouting, I've lost my voice a bit. Is my K20 Clio going to be as quick as this? Because this is quick and it is planted and it is handling so well. It's just them bounce, because you're bouncing around a lot, and then brakes are just sort of letting it down a little bit. But wow, what a car. But I hope you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Cheers.